Welcome to essay lesson number 3, how to write a super awesome thesis. Remember, a thesis statement is a promise from you, the writer, to your reader that you are going to set out to prove your thesis statement. You can't get off track, you can't go off on a tangent, and you can't switch thesis statements in the middle of a paper. You are now locked in to proving that thesis statement. Also, 2, it's a clearly worded statement that doesn't confuse your readers. What's the point of communicating? Or what's the point of spending 6 hours writing a paper if the person who is reading your paper doesn't know what you were trying to prove? It must be clearly worded. Otherwise, there's no point. 3, it's also a statement that you must believe in and understand. You have to have the wherewithal to seek out these answers to prove your thesis statement. If you feel like you are fooling yourself, as if you have no idea what you're talking about, if you can't remember the book at all, then there is no point to sit down at a keyboard yet. Make sure you fully understand your thesis statement before you start writing it. Now, here is a hypothetical prompt that a teacher might give you after you finish reading The Hobbit. Would you consider Bilbo Baggins a hero? If so, why? Be sure to prove your answer with evidence from the text. Now, your teacher is asking you to do several things. The first is to answer a direct question. Would you consider Bilbo Baggins a hero? Chances are you are going to say, yes, he is a hero. But that's not the end of it. The real question is, why? Why is he a hero? Now, you cannot answer that question without evidence. Until you have evidence, it's just an opinion. And opinions don't count in English unless you can back them up with evidence from the text. So, what you need to think about right now is what instances in the story prove to you that he is a hero. And first of all, you also might have to consider this. Well, what is a hero? What does it mean to be a hero? You can go in several different directions when you ask this question to someone. So these are all examples of thesis statements I get from students that are good examples of what not to do. Take a look at the first one. Bilbo Baggins is a hero. Well, of course, sure, I can see that. But the question I have for you is, why is he a hero? This person forgot the second part of the prompt. The second one, Bilbo Baggins is a hero because he does a lot of heroic things. What are these heroic things? Your thesis statement doesn't tell me anything. In fact, I'm more confused because I don't know where your paper is going. So don't be vague. Don't say stuff or things. Be sure to be very specific. The next thesis statement is really, really long. Bilbo Baggins is a hero because he fights evil creatures, steals treasure, and transforms a shy little hobbit who used to live, blah, 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 blah. Why do we need this much information? We don't need this information. Now, here are 2 examples of great thesis statements. Let's look at the first one. Bilbo Baggins is a hero because he acts resourcefully, intelligently, and selflessly during his adventures in order to save others. This is why this thesis statement is great. Resourcefully, intelligently, and selflessly. This person is being very, very specific as to why he is a hero. And we know that Bilbo does this in order to save other people's lives. This is a great thesis statement. It's clear, it's specific, I don't get lost, and there's lots of examples of Bilbo acting resourcefully, intelligently, and selflessly throughout the book, so I know that the person should be able to prove this. The second thesis statement is also a great thesis statement. He asserts that Bilbo Baggins is a hero And he is very specific as to why he is a hero. He challenges himself to take risks in order to transform into the person he wants to become. This person will probably be speaking about Bilbo moving away from its Baggins heritage to become more of a Took. This is great because we know there's tons of evidence to prove that Bilbo does indeed challenge himself, take risks, and there's lots and lots of examples of him transforming into a different person than he originally was. A great thesis statement. Now let's quickly compare these two examples. The one in red is bad, the one in blue is good. Firstly, the one in red. He's a hero because he fights evil creatures, steals treasure, and transforms from the shy little hobbit he used to be. Now, this reads like a list. It doesn't seem like the person actually has a reason for why Bilbo is a hero. It seems more like this person is just listing off what Bilbo has accomplished or what he's done. This doesn't necessarily direct me towards one specific point as to why he's a hero. This is just a grocery list. But notice this second thesis statement. He acts resourcefully, intelligently, and selflessly to save others. This person is directing the entire paper towards Bilbo being selfless. He is saving other people's lives. It is directed towards one specific goal, looking at how Bilbo saves other people. The first one, since it's just a list, will probably read as a very, very scattered essay. So to conclude, remember the following tenets of great thesis statements. They're clearly worded. You promise that you will prove them, and it's a statement that you must believe in and understand. Finally, one of the last things I should remind you of is that you have to be able to prove your thesis statement with lots of evidence from the text. So, if you write a thesis statement and you know you don't have the evidence to prove it, and you're not willing to go look for it, your thesis statement is dead in the water, and you should give it up. Remember, a great thesis statement is going to require evidence, and if you can't find it, you're stuck. So remember, it's not the paper that you want to write, it's the paper that you can write. Next, let's look at this one. The bad one is in red. As we talked about before, Bilbo Baggins is a hero because he does a lot of heroic things. What does that even mean? I'm more confused now than I was before I started reading. What does that even mean? Does the person even know? Chances are this person writing doesn't know and hasn't thought enough about the book in order to proceed further. Now, the second prompt, as we discussed before, it is very, very specific. This person knows where he wants to go, and by Bilbo taking risks, challenging himself, transforming, and talking about the person he wants to become, this person is talking about how heroes take a great deal of time to change themselves. And they know that this is not necessarily easy. Like I said before, there's lots of evidence for this thesis statement.